welcome to another enthralling episode of the Ground Control Branching Out podcast. I'm your not-so-humble host, Neil Bailey, and in today's episode we are talking to Grant Hine, contract manager extraordinaire. So let's find out all about what he does, what makes him tick, and maybe a dash extra.
So, Grant, thanks for doing the podcast. If you could for us, just introduce yourself. So kind of who are you and what do you do?
So I'm Grant Hine. I live up here near Blackburn. It's probably the closest place I could pinpoint myself. I look after all the directly employed staff right through from Blackpool through to Hull. At present, I'm looking after the full North East as well.
Okay.
And I'll be taking over Lingley. So I look after loads of litter pickers.
Right.
Which has its challenges in days. Some of them brilliant. They just get on with it. You don't even know the names because they just get on with it. They bring you up once every 6 months. Can I get some bin bags? I let the pickers grow. And then you have some you really do have to micromanage.
Yeah.
They just sometimes they're a little bit slower off the mark, if you will.
Yes. Yeah.
They don't quite understand. When you can tell them and walk around an area with them, you can put it on a map. They still don't quite get that they should be inside, like trying to reach inside bushes and emptying grit bins, rubbish, and some of them are just want to argue the odds about it as well, which is it's always fun.
Yeah,
the grit bin's not a bin, is what I've been told several times.
Nice.
But I also look after the grounds maintenance teams. So I have D Yorkshire, who look after a lot of JLL sites, Savile sites, and they're great. They 2P'd over from Litter Boss.
Right. Yeah.
Like I said, they're fantastic. They do a great job. We have a good working relationship. But I also look after Lingley, which is coming to me at the end of this month. Again, we have directly employed staff on there. I've been to Lingley several times. It's a lovely site. They know what they're doing. I also look after San Hutton, which is a biotech. It's a 1440 site, and that does come with some challenges. You've got the entire site is gridded off into 4. I've got 2 directly employed staff on there. You've got electric fences, gates, passes, qualifications. We can't use any glyphosate on there, which anyone who's in grounds maintenance knows that comes with its own headache, especially when you've got gravel beds and you've got block paving. 90% of the area is block paving.
Yeah.
The reason we can't use glyphosate on there is because on there they have a lab which identifies glyphosate in food products that goes out to our food line. So we need they test to the 1 millionth percentile. So if we spray it, they'll know.
Right.
We have a lot of issues with bees on there as well. Not so much issues, but the lads have all both been issued with bee suits.
Oh, what?
Because they test with bees. They've been stung more times than enough.
Yeah, I'll bet.
I use field team model as well, very rarely, but we don't have an in-house ARB team up in the north.
Right.
So any tree works or anything, I use a field team.
Yeah. So you've got a big old, not only spread of types of staff and kind of areas of focus, but geographically big. So do you find yourself doing a lot of travelling?
I did.
Right.
So after our recent meeting, we decided my area was too big, which didn't come to a surprise for me. So the northeast is going to be taken off me and go to another contract manager.
Right.
But in doing that, that's why I've inherited Lingley. The northeast isn't that much of an headache. I mean, I've got Eddie Allman who works up there, who's an area manager for me, and he's brilliant. If there's any issues, it's not like I've got a 3-hour drive. It's just a phone call. Eddie, can you go in here? And he's just like, yeah, no worries. And he just runs and gets it done. And he knows all the sites, all his staff. I can't big him up enough. He's brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant. So going back just briefly to the litter picker stuff, for those of us that kind of obviously don't know the ins and outs of the contracts and things like that, what do we litter pick?
So it all varies. So we've got Savile sites, we've got Morrison's, Tesco's. It all depends. And this is one of the things that other contract managers should try and push forward and push our way, is offering the litter picking. I was very shocked of basically how much money we could be made in litter picking.
Okay.
It's such a huge different market, because some of our sites, don't get me wrong, we're there for 2 hours 3 times a week. It's about, but if we look at it that in the sense of we've got a team going on there and cutting the grass for 2 hours every fortnight,
Yep.
it equals out the same. Where I've got some sites that we have an AM and a PM rota,
Right.
and that's 5 days a week. So we've got a litter picker on there for 8-10 hours a day.
Good grief.
Every
Wow.
day.
Yeah.
And then you've got some what are 7 on, 7 off, 3 hours a day. Some, like one we're just taking over in Hull, that's every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 hours.
Sure.
Like I say, as soon as we get the right person on site, it's like anything. Once you get the right field team in place,
Yeah.
you're fine. You'll know your good team to the other team that needs improving. And the only way I can improve my staff is by going out and walking around with them.
Yeah.
I have a litter picker and a ring in the back of my car. Now, it does look a bit strange when someone pulls up in a Tesla to litter pick a site. I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't look right. When I throw a sheet in the back of the car because the bin might be full, and I'm like, oh, when I go to the next site, I'll throw them in their bin. So I've got 2 bin bags of rubbish in the back of my car on a sheet. So most of our litter pickers are retired and just wanted a little bit of something to do, just to do, so they won't do any extra works. They don't want to know.
Yes.
One, for example, my oldest litter picker is 86 years old.
Wow.
He's worked for ground control. I believe it was litter boss first.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's got possibly 28 years service. He retired when he was 50.
Yeah.
And just didn't want to retire. So he does in Carlisle, he does a couple of hours every day for us, just on a little bus station.
Brilliant. But I mean, fresh air, exercise, probably chatting to people. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it?
That's it.
So it sounds like a pretty broad role as ever. What does a typical day look like for you?
So no day is the same. And what I think I'm better off doing is giving you a typical week.
Right, go for it.
Because my days differ. So I always call Monday my admin day. That's when I'll deal with any holidays, sickness. Obviously, I've got a vast amount of staff, so all these things need to be done. I've got the HR, I've got schedules, all the little bits that need doing, putting fires out, moving people, getting site cover. That's my Monday. That's when my staff as well, generally my grounds maintenance staff will ring me up and say, Grant, when you're ordering next, could you do this? Grant, could you order that? And then on the other Mondays, I might be doing everyone's overtime, and it all adds up. And then I'll also be doing my tenders as well. What I need doing. So typically, what I do is I write them out, send the email, write them all out, and wait for that tender number to come back.
Yeah,
we do struggle with this area with getting any extra works in, because yes, I've got a vast amount of sites, but we only do the litter on sites.
Yeah.
So, well, we do get some good little bits in. Typically on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I am away from the house. I've got a site handover to do this week. I've got a meeting with York City Council.
Mm-hmm.
I've also got one here I can see. This is for the GC Academy.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be worth attending.
Exactly. I'm also going out to site and meeting one of my litter pickers to try and teach him how to use Soma. Sports Direct have now said that they don't want anyone just the robot clothing anymore. They need it evidencing. So he's never used Soma before, so I'm going to go out and show him how to do that.
And what is that?
Soma?
Yeah.
Oh, Soma's our app so the team will have an app on the phone where all the work comes through for that team, and then they open and close it. But obviously, so you'll open it up, it'll tell you what needs to be done on the site. You'll evidence photos before and after, and basically it builds like a nice little report to our client.
Right.
I feel like I'm trying to sell you something by telling you about that. I was in a meeting.
I'll let you know if I'm going to buy by the end of it.
Yeah. And then I've also got the San Hutton team going on a first aid course. It's all go.
So in your role, for you personally, in your role with all the areas that you've got on, etc., what do you find the most challenging?
That's a good question. So I don't find anything challenging with it. I might be sounding, people might think, oh, it needs more work or something, but
No, not at all.
I think if I manage my diary best I can. There's always things that overlap. There's always things that need adjusting and moving around. But I'm good with people, which kind of does help.
Yeah.
And I really don't care if someone's a litter picker, a director, or the Queen of England. That is the King of England.
You'll deal with them.
I just treat them how I treat everybody else.
Yeah.
How I want to be treated. So the people side of it is where people do seem to struggle. I suppose one of the difficulties I'm going to go back to Christmas this year. But that was difficult. So it was my own fault. I wasn't aware that we had to cover the San Hutton site over Christmas.
Right.
So I give everybody Christmas off.
Ah, okay.
But with the relationship I have with my guys, they agreed to come in and cover it between D Yorkshire and D San Hutton. Yeah. They agreed to cover the site for me, which was great. Because I had visions of me driving over and covering the site myself at one point. Yeah. Which
that shows to me that you do work well with your people. You've built really strong relationships. So in that kind of situation, they are prepared to come in and help and support. I think that says a lot about the way you're then kind of working with them and handling them.
Yeah, I mean, any issues I've had, the HR team won't go with ground control. They're on ball. They're happy to show you anything you need to know. And they're there to support you. And like I said, they've been brilliant for out a lot of the things. Anything I didn't know, they didn't think, oh, he doesn't know. It was just a case of, yeah, let me show you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which has always been nice. A lot of support of Carl, who's my director. Again, anything bringing up, and it could be a case of, I've just found something that I've just lifted this rock up, Carl. That's my favourite thing. Me lifting a rock up and finding all sorts underneath it.
Yeah, you shouldn't have looked under that rock. That's the key.
No, that's the thing. I'm too curious. I have to tear everything up to see. I won't be able to sleep at night knowing that there could be something else there.
Yeah, and then you've talked about you've got the new site to look after, and then the potential change with kind of part of your area going to somebody else. What are you looking forward to, kind of over this next, let's say, year, but it doesn't have to be a full year?
So the next year, I'm looking forward to getting out to see some more of the staff that don't make the noise. I kind of want to go and see them a bit more. Yeah. And see if they're not making noise because nobody knows they're there, or just see if it is just genuinely they just go and do the job. Just to give them a bit of support as well. Like, you're not alone.
Yeah.
I'm here. Ring me up for anything, even if you just want to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot of things throughout the years. I'm looking forward to the GC Academy. I have put in for that. I've put in for the lead.
For the lead, great.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that.
What specifically about it? What are you looking for?
You've put me on the spot again, haven't you?
Because I'm interested.
It's just the working with others. I'm looking forward to that. Building that proposals for jobs and stuff. And I went out last week with Scott Friday to a Knight Frank meeting to basically show them this is what we're going to do. And he did the full presentation, and it's Scott were inviting me into speaking about our health and safety and our SOMA and little bits and bats he was throwing over to me, which I did kindly ask him beforehand. I've never been to one of these before, so don't be throwing too much on me.
Right.
But just having that one experience of being there and seeing how we get the work was brilliant.
Yeah.
And it opened my eyes a bit.
Yeah. So there's an element of.
So I'm looking forward to being done to that. I want to be able to see other contract managers as well and other people who work in different parts of the company. And that's what I'm hoping the GC Academy will do for me. I'll open my eyes to other people in the
Yes.
company.
Yeah. Kind of build that. It's a bit of a cliche, but kind of really build the network. Really kind of meet other people, understand what other people are doing.
I think you've been reading my application form.
Oh, have I? Honestly, I haven't. What does Grant do outside of work?
What does Grant do outside of work?
Yeah.
So I've got a little boy. He's 9 months old.
Great.
So I try to spend between him and my wife, we try to spend at least one day together, and generally that means on a Sunday. Just having a day out, family day out. I like to play golf, but I haven't played in about 12 months since he was born and prior to the birth.
Yeah.
I just like spending time with family, to be honest, and my friends. There's always something in the diary. We have a family diary, and like this Saturday I'm going out with my sister and her husband and my mum and everything. And unfortunately, my wife isn't attending because she's going to an autopsy, which is we're not going to get into that because that's just a hint. If anything happens to me, she's done it.
Knows how not to get caught, etc.
I love going on holiday. And
to where? Any favourite spots?
I like going to Tenerife, but we've been everywhere. Especially prior to the little boy being born, we used to go try and get away like 4 times a year if we could.
Oh wow!
Even if it was just for a long weekend. I work at the church still. I still do the ground. Yeah, I still do the groundwork for the church every fortnight.
Yeah.
Rock up, everything's already there for me.
Yeah.
But this time of year, it's more of a case of just I rock up and have a cup of tea.
So on each episode, I finish on a slightly off-the-wall question. So feel free to take a bit of thinking time. My question for you is, if your job had a theme song, what would it be?
I have got a funny one, and it is funny. You kind of the theme song to Max and Paddy.
Oh, okay.
Road to Nowhere.
Yeah. Theme song to Max and Paddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Road to Nowhere.
Road to Nowhere. That would sum it up.
That would sum it up sometimes when you're driving down these roads and you think, I have never been down here in my life.
Yeah.
So as much as a daunting drive it could be, I always try to have a smile on my face.
That sounds good. As long as you're not blindly following the sat nav into the sea or anything like that, then you're all right.
Typical Northerner has to go with Peter Kay.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Well, of course. So thanks, Grant. That's been really good, really interesting to hear kind of what you do and kind of the breadth that you're involved with. So thanks so much for being on the podcast.
Boys, thanks for having me. I'll speak to you soon.
And there you have it, another great episode. Thank you, Grant. That was really interesting. Everything from litter pickers to Peter Kay. Please do subscribe, like, share, and of course, if you would like to be on an episode or know somebody you would like to volunteer, then please let us know. And until next time, take care.